Hello folks, this is a day I've been looking forward to for some time. I get to spend some time with the Honda E. As you know, I'm a big fan of the design and I'm really interested to see what one of these things is like to live with. Let's check it out. The Honda E is certainly a premium car, with price for this advanced model starting at just under 37 grand. It's got a 0 to 62 time of 8.3 seconds and a claimed 131 mile range, although it's closer to 100 miles in the real world. As you can see, this interior is the epitome of retro chic. It's packed with technology, everything's very well screwed together, and it just all feels like it's in the right place, especially with this very cool little multifunctional steering wheel. Gear selection's a doddle thanks to a simple button push setup, and it's got a little central cubby here that would benefit from an armrest, to be honest. But look at this, you can plug in a laptop, you've got a 3-pin charging socket, you've got HDMI connections and USBs galore. Boot space is a bit of a letdown at only 171 litres, which will make it a bit tight for many. But check out these little door handles. You walk up to the car, they pop open, and then when you're ready to go, they pop back in. So charging the car is quite simple. Button on the key ring here, which you hold down, and it pops open the charger door, as you can see there. Once you plug in a charger, these are completely watertight, and once you lock the car, you walk away, they're locked in place, so no one can pull the chargers out. 100% charging from home on a 3-pin plug takes 14 hours, from a 7 kilowatt charger takes 5 hours 15, and with a rapid charger you can go from 10 to 80% charge in 42 minutes. Right folks, unusually I'm going to start with what's probably people's biggest hang up with this car. And I'm going to tell you why I think it shouldn't be, and that's the range. So the real world range on this car is going to be around about 100 miles. So 100 miles of range to many people may seem ludicrously low, and it's going to scare quite a few people. But this is a city car. It's every inch the city car. And if you're in one of these and you check one of these out and you drive one of these, you know that it's not just a city car, it's possibly the city car. The car's rear wheel drive, it's got an amazing turning circle, and it's just ideally suited for nipping around town, the job that obviously it's been designed for. You have no issues getting into a parking space. In fact, it's got a park assist function, which is absolutely brilliant. You essentially sit with your foot on your brake, hold this button down, and it does the work for you. The range should not be an issue for you with this car, because this is not a car you want to do long motorway drives in. This is a car you want to use for a bit of street fighting around cities. Obviously you can hook this thing up to your home chargers and your 50 kilowatt chargers and all the rest of it. However, you can also plug it into a 3-pin. It comes with a 3-pin cable as standard, as well as a normal charging cable, and it will happily charge itself overnight from a 3-pin plug. Remember, for most people this is going to be a city car or a second car within the household, and 100 miles is perfectly adequate for most people. Probably gives you a week's worth of driving. Okay, so there are no wing mirrors on this car. It's got these funny little sticky outer ears, which are cameras, and see on the edges of the dash here we've got these little screens, and they basically replace the mirror on the outside of the door. They're very effective, they work great, and I must admit I was used to them within about 4 seconds of getting into the car. That's been super easy to adapt to. Also up here with the rear view mirror, it's a digital mirror, it is a camera, so that's a video screen. However, if you flick it, it becomes a normal mirror. It's just a piece of glass. That's a very trick piece of kit, that. First few seconds I did find this a bit weird, but I've actually gone to it now because A, I've got camera equipment hanging up from the sunroof, so my vision's a bit blocked on the standard mirror, but B, this is a much brighter, clearer picture than the mirror gives me. So I personally quite like it. Now this does have a bit of tasty EV performance. It really, I know it's a very small car and you're low to the ground and everything, so you always get a greater feeling of speed in small cars that are low to the ground. But this one really has got it, and it is capable of some fairly rapid acceleration, like so. I mean, it's not a Tesla Model 3 in that respect, but it's certainly nippy enough to put a smile on most people's face. The handling in this thing really is great. I mean, for such a small car to be rear-wheel drive is unusual in itself, but mated to that electric power, it's nuts. I love it. So sat-nav system in this car is actually very good once you get it up and running. There's a little bit of a learning curve involved. It's not quite as intuitive as it could be perhaps. Graphics wise, you know, there's far better on the market, but also far worse. It's a good middle of the road, I would say, in terms of built-in sat-nav systems. Of course, you've always got the option of plugging in your phone and using your Android Auto or your Apple CarPlay as well, which I guess a lot of people will do. The screen system here is bananas. You can have different things for you and your passenger. You can send something from your side to the passenger side. So if, for example, they want to put in a new destination in the sat-nav, you hit a button, it gets sent over to them. Likewise, stereo controls and things you can send around. Thankfully, this lovely 80s looking control panel along the top here, which is like an old hi-fi console, I love it, has got a proper volume knob and a power button for the stereo. Imagine that. This is groundbreaking stuff, folks. This car does have a one-pedal driving mode like a number of EVs, and like all of those, it does have a slight learning curve. Basically, every time you take the foot off the gas, it's going to apply engine braking to slow the car. So it means you're not using the brake pads down like you would in a normal car. And for that city driving again, it means you're not tap dancing around every 2 minutes. It works really well once you get used to it. Just be cautious when you then get back into a car that doesn't have that, because it does take a bit of time to transition from one to other. So when you think about Honda vehicles normally, you think of reliability, utility, maybe practicality. You don't necessarily think of fun, with some exceptions, but really it's been a while since Honda made fun cars. Generally, they've made incredibly reliable cars, incredibly good cars, but what they've done here is made a fun car, and it's a bold design. The Honda E is not the world's most versatile car. It doesn't have much boot space. It doesn't have loads of range. It's not the most cavernous cabin in the world. You're not going to get 5 people in here comfortably. What it is pretty much a perfect city car. For me and my family, this would make an ideal second car. We've got one large car. We're always going to need one large car. We do a lot of UK holidays. We've got 2 kids. We've got a dog. My wife doesn't travel light. But as a second car for a little run around town, absolutely perfect. Certainly very capable little car on the B roads as well, which is quite surprising. So if you've seen my car reviews before, you know that I usually like to sum them up in quite a simple and concise way. And that's just by telling you how happy I am about the thing going back. Am I delighted it's going back because I can't stand it? Am I gutted because I'm in love with it? Am I on the fence, or am I somewhere in between? And with this one, I have to say, I'm gutted. I love it. If you're a sales rep and you're doing 30,000 miles a year up and down the motorways, don't consider one of these cars. If you're like most people and you do short inner city journeys, short town journeys, you go shopping, you maybe do a school run, and maybe you've got another car within the household, if you're not thinking about one of these things, you should be. Honestly, I take my hats off to Honda for this. Everyone saw this as a concept car, and then when the production car came out and it looked extremely similar, I think everyone was a bit surprised and somewhat blown away. So really well done to Honda on this. They produced a fantastic little car that offers something different to their brand, and really has brought something a bit different to the market. If you've enjoyed any part of this video, guys, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please do. Something like 10% of people that watch my channel are subscribed. Bite the bullet, guys. Give it a subscribe. Hit the notification bell. I produce a ton of car content on this channel, and I try and keep it as fresh as possible. And I guess the difference with my content is that it's everyday cars. You know, these are cars that actual people might actually drive. And I'm not telling you which supercar I've just bought every week. I really appreciate all the support everyone's given me to date, and yeah, keep it up, keep telling your friends. Thanks ever so much for watching, guys. See you next time.